What is going on today? Today we are going to be diving into the Minelab Xterra Pro. So Christmas is approaching for many of us, and some people are wanting to get into the hobby of metal detecting. Some people want backup machines. But I've got to tell you, the Minelab Xterra Pro at $269 is a great option right now. You've got unbelievable features that you will find in this machine. And we want to go through and we want to walk you through some of the settings and features and the menus of the Minelab Xterra Pro, how you can go out and start hunting with this machine immediately. So stay tuned as we go through and we walk you through some of the features and settings of the Minelab Xterra Pro. Can't wait to show you this. And as always, if you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And we will catch you guys on the next adventure. Stay tuned for the video. Okay, we have the Minelab Xterra Pro, and we've got it already turned on, but we're going to walk back through how to actually do some of this stuff. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut it off. And when you want to power on this machine, you just go right here where this red square is, and you will see the power on button, and you just press it, and you will see it boot up. And there it is, and it is ready to go. And as always, one of the first things that you always want to do is you want to do a noise cancel. So we'll noise cancel real quick, let it run through and cycle through. Of course, I've got the volume turned down because I'm inside. And there you go. So we've got our noise cancel, and we always know that we're noise canceling when we see that first little icon down at the bottom. Okay. You will notice that there's another square right here on the side, and that square is showing you the backlight. And I'm going to show you the backlight real quick. And there's what it looks like. That's fully bright. You can see all the numbers and all the buttons are illuminated in this bright orange or red. Everything is illuminated, and you always know that this is on when you see the little sun up at the top of the screen. If you press it again, then it dims it, and you can see it's just a dimmer shade of orange. And then you press one more time, and that cuts it off. You also have a backlight or an LED flashlight on the back of this machine. And if you wanted to power that, you would press the button one more time, and you would hold down. And you can see the backlight has been illuminated behind the metal detector. So that's how you work the backlight and the LED light, which you can see there. And we're going to leave it on a low setting there so we can see what's going on. So you will notice there's a couple of things on the screen that you can look for. You can see that the flashlight mode has been enabled. You can see that the backlight has been enabled. And of course, this is your battery and how much battery you have left. Down here at the bottom, you see this tree with a park bench beside it. That's letting you know that you are in Park 1. So you will notice that we're in Park, and you will see there's a little park bench and a tree there, and you'll notice the number 1 underneath. That's letting you know that you are in the Park search mode. So that's sort of a walkthrough through some of the menu when you first turn the machine on and what you need to do. But if we wanted to change our search modes, we're going to go down here, and you'll notice that you will see the little coal here, or the search mode button. All you will do is press that, and it will take you out of the noise cancel, which we were just in. But it also will help you change to your different search modes. So we were in Park 1, but now we are in Park 2, just simply by pressing this button. So we've got the search mode button there, and we just pressed it, and now we see the number 2. So we are in Park 2. Park 1 is mainly made for coin hunting and so on. Park 2 mainly for fine jewelry and so on. So again, you got 2 settings there: Park 1, Park 2, for those search modes. In the Park search mode. So if we go over, we press the search mode button again, we will see that we've got field, and we have a field 1 and a field 2. Okay, so we've got those two search modes for field. We also have beach, and we have a beach 1 and a beach 2. And you can see those simply by pressing the search mode. So the search mode button will take you to each one of the search modes. So let's go back through these one more time. So when we first go to our search modes, we're going to see park, and this is park 1. You press it again, the search mode button again, and you get park 2. Press it again, you get field 1, and this is the field with the windmill. You can see there. Press again, you get field 2. Press again, you get beach 1, and you see the little palm tree with the sun there over the beach. And then press again, and you see beach 2. So these are the search modes that you have on the Xterra Pro. So those are our search modes. You'll also notice, let's go back to our park mode, and we're in park 1. You'll also notice that there is a number 5 on this screen. That number 5 is representing the frequencies that this machine is operating, and you see the little frequency icon next to it. So right now we're in 5 kilohertz. That would be really good for searching for high conductive targets like silver. So you could run it at 5 kilohertz. But if you wanted to change the kilohertz, you would just simply go down here to the same thing, the frequency button, and you would press the frequency button, and you will see that it changes to 10. 10 is a good all-around search mode that you can use, or search frequency that you can use. If you want to look for gold and brass and those types of things, then you would go to 15. So we have 3 frequencies to pick from. We have 5, 10, and 15. But all 3 of these frequencies can be used with park and field, and that's it. But if you're using beach, just to show you guys, when you use beach, you will notice that that number changes to 8. You cannot change the frequency on the beach modes. So when you get to beach, or the beach search mode, you cannot change the frequencies. It is locked in at 8 kilohertz. So again, that's walking you through the different frequencies. Okay, we're back at park. Some other things on the screen that you're noticing, and let's cut our backlight off, or not a backlight, but our flashlight off. Let's turn that off. Okay. So another thing that you're noticing on the screen is you notice the bar at the top, which is all of your different numbers or your different tone segments that you can look at. You will also notice that over here on the left, you've got a sensitivity scale. Now you can adjust that sensitivity all the way up to 25. And if we press the plus button, you can see that I'm changing the sensitivity. And I notice the sensitivity is right there. And then if I want to go down on sensitivity, I just hit the minus button until it goes down to a sensitivity that works for me for whatever site I'm hunting on. Usually I run around 20, 21, 22 out on the beach and when I'm relic hunting. So those are the sensitivity settings. It goes all the way up to 25. You'll also notice that in some cases you will see the little shovel, and this is sort of telling you a depth. So that's giving you the depth meter of how deep your target could possibly be. Is it really accurate? Well, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, but it is there as sort of a guide to sort of help you determine the depth of your targets. So that's the depth meter that you saw on the side. So let's walk through some more features. So we've looked at search modes, we've looked at frequencies. Let's look at your ground balance feature, which is right here. So you would ground balance manually using once it's on the ground balance icon, which you see right here at the bottom, or you can run what they call auto tracking. So how do you set it up to auto tracking? Well, if you want it to track the soil, you would just hold in the check and X button, and you will notice that there is an icon at the top which is showing you that it is in auto track mode. And this is really good for hunting the beach where it's going to constantly be changing. If you're hunting mineralized soil or soil that's a little bit difficult to deal with, you might want to run the auto tracking on there. But again, this is your ground balance setting, and this is where you would ground balance or run auto tracking. If you want to take the auto tracking off, you just simply press the button. Okay, so that was the first icon that you see here on the screen. And we got to that icon by pressing the cogwheel in the center. So let's go to the next icon. The next icon you see here on the screen is your volume icon. So this is how you would adjust the volume. You would just simply turn it up by pressing your plus, and it goes all the way up to a max volume of 25. But you guys can hear it. Of course, we're inside, so I got it turned all the way down, but that's where it stops, 25. We're going to turn it back down so we don't hear a lot of noise. And again, this is your volume control, using the plus and minus to control your volume. We're going to go all the way down to 0. So we don't have to hear anything since we are inside. If we press the cogwheel again in the center, that takes us to our threshold. Threshold is a little hum that you would hear. And anytime you get over a target, you will sort of hear a break in that threshold. And of course, I had the volume turned down, but the threshold is a little hum. Let's turn the volume up so you guys can hear it. Now, hang on one second, and we'll go to our volume. Let's turn it up so you guys can hear. Okay, let's go over to our threshold. There's the threshold hum that you guys are hearing in the background. Some people like that. You don't have to run it. I do like it out on the beach. It sort of breaks that target up whenever you get over something good, lets you know that there's something there. But you can run threshold if you're a person that likes threshold. And again, you can run it all the way up on the threshold setting. So we're going to go back over here to our volume, and we're going to turn the volume back down so we don't have to hear a lot of beeps since we're inside. So we did threshold. The next thing on our list is our number of tones. Microphone or speaker with the music note next to it down at the bottom, you are in your tone settings or tone menu. So right now you see a DP popping up on the screen. Let's go back through the tones. Let's look at what each tone is. So we're going to start. We have our choice of 1 tone, 2 tones, 5 tones, all tones, and depth tones. So if you're looking for really deep targets, you might want to run the depth. If you're looking at all tones, I like running all tones because I like to hear everything. So you can decide which one works for you. You can choose 5, you can choose 2, or you can choose 1, depending on what type of hunting you're doing and so on. So again, those are your tone choices underneath the tone menu. So if we press our cogwheel again, that takes us up to our reject and accept button, which you can notch out targets. let's look at the accept reject button, which you see down here at the bottom. So if you want to accept or reject a certain number, let's say 32 is driving you crazy and you don't really like the idea of 32. So if you want to get rid of that 32, maybe there's something coming in at 32, you can notch that out. So all you would have to do is press the accept reject button, which is the check and X, and it would get rid of that 32. So if we press it and then we move over, it gets rid of that. Let's say you want to get rid of 36. Again, the check and the X, you press it, and then we move over. So we are notching out tones that we don't want to hear. So we are notching out those tones by using the accept and reject button down at the bottom. So let's go on. So we've just about finished up. Let's go over to our next icon, which is this one, which it shows the coil and you got two arrows on the outside. That is the recovery speed. So you have 3 recovery speeds that you can pick from. You have a recovery speed of 1, which would be really slow, recovery speed of 2, which would be sort of semi-fast, and a recovery speed of 3, which is really fast. You would use that whenever you are hunting in a really trashy area. If you're really wanting to hit deep, then you would probably go down to 1. If you're just doing general searching, you probably would want to run at 2. That's more than likely what you will be choosing for those different types of situations. So again, that is your recovery speed. So there you go with that. Let's move on. So we looked at the screen. Let's talk about the different search modes as well. So when we look at the search modes and we look at Park 1. So what's Park 1 going to be good for? And that's what we're going to walk through. So Park 1, what will it be good for? Park 1 is going to be made for general hunting, okay? Mainly for general hunting and coins, okay? You're going to use Park 2. If we flip over to Park 2, you're going to use Park 2 for fine jewelry. So smaller targets and trash infested areas. And then you would probably want to run the frequency for that trash infested area. You're probably going to want to run it to 15 using Park 2. It's going to detect a wider range of targets, including a lot of the lower conductors and mid conductors, such as gold as well. So again, you can increase the recovery speed there. So remember, if we want to do our recovery speed, we would go over and probably run a recovery speed of 3 on that. So, and then also too, you might want to run it in all tones. So how do you get to all tones? Let's look at that real quick. So if you're going to go to all tones, you would press the horseshoe. And again, you will notice that all segments are now all the way across, and you're able to use all tones with that setup. So again, that is Park 2. Let's look at Field 1 and Field 2, okay? So again, we go to our search mode button down at the bottom right here, the little metal detector coil, and we press that and we go to Field 1. Field 1 again is mainly designed for coins and artifacts. It's for general hunting with a lot of trash rejection. So it's going to be good in trashy areas. The default discrimination pattern is set to reject target IDs from 1 to 4. They suggest that when you're using Field 1, that you run a frequency of 10 kilohertz. So you would run 10 kilohertz in Field 1, which is really most suited for general detecting. So Field 1, again, coins and artifacts. Field 2, much like Park 1, if we go to Field 2, When we look at field 2, this is going to be suited for high targets and high densities of trash as well. Again, including ferrous trash. So this would really be good for relic hunting. And you might want to run the frequency at 15 kilohertz on field 2, because again, you're looking for those low to mid conductors for jewelry. If you're a person that looks for artifacts like Confederate buttons and Civil War buttons and Revolutionary War buttons, then you're definitely going to want to run at 15 kilohertz with this setting with field 2. So that's field 1 and field 2. And again, you'll notice that we have notched out right through here. Automatically, it notches out 1 through 4 on the first few segments of the bar there. Okay, so let's go to our next search mode, which is beach. And you'll notice that beach is already locked in at 8 kilohertz. And again, this is beach 1. So if we're looking at beach 1, beach 1 is for wet and dry sand. It can be used for some shallow water hunting. Beach 1 uses a lower recovery speed, so you're going to have to swing really, really low, or slow, excuse me. You're going to have to swing really slow with beach 1. We also have beach 2. So if we go to beach 2, beach 2 is set up at, again, at 8 kilohertz, which you can see the frequency. There's the frequency icon. And beach 2 is going to give the best results for detecting underwater. If the coil is going to be fully submerged, this is when you're going to want to use beach 2. It's got a faster recovery speed, which is going to be set at 3. So that's going to aid in rejection of all the salt water signals. So beach 2 with a high recovery is really good for hunting in the surf, hunting when you're going to submerge the coil on really wet salt sand is going to work really good in that situation. So that is beach 2. Okay, so we've looked at all these different settings. We've looked at the menus. We've gone through. Remember that the center button or the cog wheel always takes you back to your menus. And it can also take you back to the main screen where you see nothing across the bottom. So again, that always takes you back. You can see up at the top when auto tracking is engaged, you will see this little squiggly line. Remember, you can turn that off simply by holding it, which we would have to go to our ground balance. Let's turn that off. So we turn it off by holding the accept reject button, and now it is off. Let's run through our menus down at the bottom one more time. So this is when you noise cancel. You'll see it, little circle with the squiggly line in the middle. Okay, we go to our next one. That is our ground balance or auto tracking. You would ground balance when it is on this setting, which you see there. We press the cog wheel again. That takes us to our volume, which we can adjust the volume there. We can turn it all the way up to 25. If you go here, you've got your threshold, and you can adjust it and turn the threshold up as well. You've got all terrain for tones, but you've got a couple of other tones too that you can use. All terrain is the one that I prefer, but you've also got depth tones. You've also got all terrain, which we just said. You have 5 tones, you have 2 tones, and you have 1 tone. So all these tone settings are there for you to actually use, and you can set it up for whatever style of hunting you're going to be doing. If you only want to hear one thing, you can notch out everything and run it at 1 tone. If you just want to have a ferrous and non-ferrous, you could bump it up to 2 tones. If you're going to be hunting and you want a little more difference in the sound of the tones, you could go to 5 tones. If you want to hear everything, you would go to all tones. And if you're just looking for really deep signals, then you would run depth tones. So again, that's how you change the tones on the Xterra Pro with the tone feature. but there you go. And you can see it. You have the speaker with the little musical symbol next door to it. If we go to our accept reject button, remember we can accept and reject things that we don't want up here at the top. All we do is just simply press, and then we move over. If we want to add it back, we press it again. Real simple, but you can notch out some of those signals that are signals that might be causing you a lot of problems. And then we're back to our recovery, 3 being the fastest, 2 being sort of in between, and 1 being the slowest. You would use 1 if you're looking for really deep targets. You would use 2 for sort of in between in general hunting, and 3 when you're in really trashy areas that you would like to hunt and try to get the most recovery between targets. So those are those settings. If you do purchase a set of wireless headphones, you of course press this on the side, and that would allow you to be able to pair it with those wireless headphones. Of course, up at the top, you've got a little battery symbol to let you know that how much battery you have and so on. So there is one more feature that you can use, which is your Ferris volume, which let's flip over there. And, let's go. So there we go. There's our Ferris volume. So in order to get to that, you would go to the volume screen, which you see the speaker, and you would hold down on the cogwheel until a line appears underneath the speaker. And you can adjust how much iron you want to hear. And you can get rid of some of that iron by simply turning it down or turning it up. But this is the only segment that you can adjust the volume with, and that is the Ferris volume. Let's see what the highest is. You can make it as loud as you want, which is 25, or you can make it as quiet as you want. So you can adjust the Ferris volume simply by holding down the cogwheel once you get on the volume screen, and you can turn the iron down as low as you want or turn it up as much as you want. So again, volume button there, and you would see the line appear when you hold down. When you want to come out of this screen, you just simply hold it down and the line disappears, and now you're back to your regular volume. So that is one of the advanced features on the Xterra Pro. So you can adjust the iron volume. So again, lots of great features with this machine. Just tons and tons of things that you can use. For $269, it's a steal. If you're looking for one for Christmas, you're looking for one as a backup machine, then this is going to be the machine that I highly recommend. If you're just getting into the hobby, this is going to be a great machine. So many great features. You've also got a vibrating handle. Let's show that real quick. Let's show the vibrating handle so you guys can see that and how to turn that on. Let's show you how to do the vibrating handle. This will be the last thing we show. So if we press the cogwheel, and we're already on. So if we go to our volume screen and we press the frequency button, which is right here. Remember, we showed how to change the frequencies. If we press that frequency button, you will notice that there's a little squiggly line at the top. This turns on the vibration feature. So again, this will make it vibrate, and I can feel it vibrating right now. But that's how you turn on the vibrating handle feature as well. So I hope that helps someone. Check out our other videos with the Xterra Pro. Check out the channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you are interested in the Xterra Pro, it's $269. Contact your local Minelab dealer, and you can order a Xterra Pro for Christmas. Okay, guys, we will catch you guys soon on our next adventure. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and I would greatly appreciate it. We will catch you guys on our next adventure. Take care.